Good morning, Room 5 superstars, and a special hello to Herson today. It is his birthday. Happy birthday, Herson. Hope you have a great day. And now to get started with our phonics, learning about our letters, and now we've learned so much, we're on to our letter blends. Let's get this chart out. Today, we're just going to practice writing three words, three very tricky words. So definitely have this, and then you'll need either your whiteboard or a notebook. Okay, the first word that I want to write is blanket. Maybe some of you have a favorite blanket like me. Blanket, blanket. Don't let B boss the other letters out of the way. Blanket. Blanket. It's a long word. Blanket. Blanket. So you do the best you can to sound it out, but what we're really focusing on now is hearing the two sounds that are at the beginning of the word. So at the beginning of blanket, I heard like block. So I put a B and an L, and then I have blanket. Blanket. Now, this might not be what you heard. That's okay. You don't have to change it, but you can study mine to think about if you do hear some of those sounds that I heard. And what I want you to really be focusing on is that you do have the B and the L, because those are the first two letters in blanket. Okay, that's word number one. Now we'll do word number two. Word number two is tractor. Not ch, it's tractor. Tractor, a piece of equipment that a farmer uses. At the beginning of tractor, I hear like tree. Tractor. 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 Okay, so here's how I spelled tractor. We agreed we have the T and the R. Tractor. So just like last time, check your work. Maybe you hear some of those sounds, but what's most important is that you didn't let T boss R out of the way. Okay, the last word I want us to write is chipmunk. Ch. That starts with a digraph. Which two letters say ch, ch, ch? C and H, like chair. Or we had that, I think, on our digraph chart too. I can't remember. What was our picture? Oh yeah, chick, of course. Ch, ip, monk, monk, chipmunk. So this is kind of like two words combined. The first word is chip. That's a little bit easier to sound out. Ch, ip, and then monk. Some of you might have chipmuck, because the N and K, it's kind of a blend too. So sometimes K bosses N out of the way. Chipmunk. Blanket, tractor, chipmunk. Can you read your words to me? Great. So the last word that we had was chipmunk, and that is in a poem that I want to read to you. When I first show it to you, you'll probably think it's a little bit hard to read, and it is. But we will go over it together. So a poem is not really a story. A poem is something that people write. It's kind of like a form of art. It's like a little song almost. And people write to express themselves, maybe how they're feeling or something that they just want to express to you. So this is the poem. I attached it in Google Classroom. You can see in the background there's some trees. Do you see those trees? So this is called Forest Orchestra, and the lady that wrote this poem, the author, is named Georgia Hurd, and she wanted to learn all about animal noises. So she went to the forest and just sat and listened to animal noises. And then when she heard one of the noises, she'd write it down, she'd try to sound it out, and then she'd read it back to her. And if it didn't sound right, she'd think, no, that's not quite right. I need to listen again and try to write it like it sounds. And Mabel, you'll be glad to know that writers and biologists are studying elephant sounds, even though they're not forest animals, to write all of those sounds down too. We're studying the sounds to write those down. So studying sounds is not just work for kids. Writers, adult writers, and biologists do this important work too. Okay, so now let's read some of these. We're going to start with some mammals in the forest. Mammals are animals that have fur and they have live babies. So the first animal, I know it's hard to see the names over here, is a red fox, and it says, ow, wow, 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 ow, wow, 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 ow, wow, wow, wow. I don't know if I've ever heard a red fox make that noise. Maybe I've never heard one. Let's go to our next animal. American red squirrel. Can you read the letters? It's M-U-K. Muck, 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 muck. That kind of makes me think that maybe it was like eating a nut or something. And then if you look, the next animal is a chipmunk. See that word chipmunk? And I know that we just wrote that word and we used the diagraph to begin. And look at the sound that she says a chipmunk makes. Ch, ip, chip, 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 chip. And then the next one that we're going to look at together is a white-tailed deer, fawn. And a fawn is a baby deer. And there's a blend at the beginning. Bull, bull. Do you see that B and L? Make that noise with me and I'll help you with the rest. Bleat, 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 bleat. Okay, now we'll do some of the insects in the forest. A common, true katydid. It's just a digraph over and over. What does C and H say? Ch, 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 ch. Now let's read the Bowles grasshopper. This is a tricky one. I see T-S-T. Tst, 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 tst. You try. And now together. Tst, 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 tst. And the last one is a Lin's cicada. Zeg, er, zegger, 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 zegger. So boys and girls, there's one section left, and that is birds in the forest. So in her forest orchestra poem, she included mammals, insects, and birds. So what I'd like you to do is try to read what the birds say. Some of them are very tricky. And we'll read through them together. Then, when the video is over, you can use this poem printout. You can make the animal noises and act out the animal movements. Okay, so here we have an oven bird. Teacher, teacher, teacher. There's a ch in the middle of teacher. An eastern towhee. Drink your tea, drink your tea, drink your tea. That's a funny one. Hairy woodpecker. Peek, peek, peek. A black-throated blue warbler. Please, please squeeze me. Please, please squeeze me. Please, please squeeze me. And a blue-gray gnatcatcher. Bzz, bzz, bzz. A black-capped chickadee. Chickadee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee. And the last one is an American robin. Cheer up, cheerily, cheer up, cheerily, cheer up, cheerily. Lots of ch sounds. Okay, so now it's your turn. You can use this chart to go through and make your own forest orchestra. An orchestra is a group of musicians playing instruments all together. So you can pretend to be these animals making noises all together in the forest and practice using your blends to read the words.